Guess who's back? Back again. Ginger's back. Tell a friend. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the pay-per-view review show. If anyone's listening, that is. Hello. My name is the Lunatic Ginge. As always, I am your host in this trip through wrestling years, good and bad. And yeah, it's nice to see you again, or sort of talk to you again. It's been a good old time, hasn't it? And yeah, I've kind of let you all down in a certain way because I always say, oh yeah, this next one's coming around the corner, and then it just kind of disappeared, didn't it? It just became overwhelmingly busy in my life with work for university and stuff like that. And yeah, and just my effort levels just went down completely. So all I can do is apologise for that and say I'm back here. I can't promise I'll be doing this on a regular basis because I don't know what's going to happen. I know I've got an exam coming up soon and coursework and stuff still. But whenever I'm free, I'm going to try and get one of these out because I felt the yearning to review 2002. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And of course, we start in January. And what's in January? The Royal Rumble 2002. Going in, I know who won the Rumble, but I didn't know what exactly happened. I've never seen that Rumble. And any of the matches on the undercard as well, I haven't seen at all. So it was a nice surprise for me to watch this. And obviously this is going to be a lot better than 2012, hopefully. So hopefully this will be a much more enjoyable experience. But I'm sure I'll still have a lot to moan about, as I usually do. I mean, it's 2002, it's not the best ever year. And obviously there's still stuff going wrong, because this is just after the Attitude Era sort of ended. And then we had the invasion bit, which didn't go so well. And then 2002, so they're kind of in limbo here. And this is still WWF at this point in January. And this is pre-brand split, so we'll get to see WWF moving to WWE and WWE splitting into two, Raw and SmackDown. So I think I may cover a few more Raw and SmackDowns just to get a glimpse of what's going on the weekly show. Maybe we'll show the draft episode, so maybe the Raw after Mania as well. And any other, if there's, I don't think there's any specific episodes of SmackDown in 2002 that I should be looking at. If there are, you know what to do. Leave it in the comments, and I will check it out for sure. So then, after that explanation of why I've been away and what we're looking forward to, let's get into it, shall we? This is the Royal Rumble 2002, and we start off with what else but a Royal Rumble video package. Of course we do, with pictures coming up of the 30 men that are going to be in it. Highlights are Steve Austin, Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Triple H. I think that was it that they showed. So yeah, as I mentioned, still WWF. We're in Atlanta, Georgia for this one, in the brand new at this point Phillips Arena. 16,106 they say the attendance is, and they are Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. Get in. No more Michael Cole for a year. It's quite nice. And they still show the WWF New York is there. And if you remember that from your good old days, I always wanted to go there because it's a restaurant and you get to watch the pay-per-view. So it's always something that I want to do, but obviously they don't have anymore. And we start off hot with the tag team titles. The Dudley Boyz, who are the challengers and heels in this, taking on It's Tires and Little Spike Dudley. So we've got our ECW feel here going on here. All ECW alumni. Dudley Boyz challenging for Taz and Spike. I don't know how they've won the tag team titles, but they have. And the Dudley Boyz have Stacy Keibler with them, which I don't really remember that happening, but apparently it did, and she's looking fine as always, but she didn't really do much in this match. Yeah, so I don't know how Taz and Spike are champs, but I'll let it slide. Spike is injured because the Dudleys just throw him about. So Dudley's controlling injured Spike at the get-go. It's strange seeing Dudley's as heels, as they are currently as well. But at this point, they were still over as hell. So there was quite a few cheers along with the boos. They target Spike's neck, which gets a "damn Dudleys" from JR. Those damn Dudleys, poor Spike, damn Dudleys. That's a bad JR impression. Out of nowhere, Spike hits a Dudley dog, and the crowd goes crazy, but he can't pin due to his injured neck. The ref is distracted and didn't see Spike tag Taz in, so that tag is nullified. So Spike's still in, and he gets a massive double flapjack to Spike, and it went so high up in the air. I think it's awesome when the Dudleys throw Spike around because they just don't care how high he goes. Because they're mates, so they just go, oh, just throw him about, it doesn't matter. Finally, we get a massive hot tag to Taz. And he goes Suplex City on the Dudleys' asses. All different types of suplexes. But then Stacy interferes, gets her on the ropes, and Taz decides to put the Taz mission on her. And the crowd goes wild. Then Devon stops it, but then there's a Taz mission to Devon in the middle of the ring. And he taps. Taz and Spike retain the titles against those damn Dudleys. It was a good but quick match. So yeah, not much to say there. There's a highlight of Raw where William Regal uses his brass knucks to beat Edge and RVD. On SmackDown, Edge and Regal get into it, and Edge uses a chair and shit. And there's an Edge interview, and he quickly realizes, oh, this is Edge in his early singles run by himself as a face. He's IC champion too, and he's super serious. He's dropped the comedy gimmick at this point in time. So yeah, that's the next match we're going to have. We're going to have William Regal challenging Edge for the Intercontinental Championship. When Regal gets out there, the referee looks for Regal's brass knucks all around the ring and on Regal. When Edge comes in, it's his not his theme that we know and love. It's his the theme before that. It sounds good. It's never gonna stop me, never gonna stop, never gonna stop me, never gonna stop. Something like that. The ref finds Regal's brass knucks in his trunks and confiscates them. We get a balanced start here, and then Regal gains control. We get a nice double arm powerbomb by William Regal, which you don't see much of these days, but William Regal knows how to bring out the good stuff. We get a DDT on the apron by Edge. It looks nasty, but the crowd is still pretty quiet. German suplex by Regal, gimmick infringement on Brock Lesnar there. And we get a Regal stretch. Oh, I love that move. It's weird that they gave Dean Ambrose the Regal stretch in WWE 2K games. It's weird. He never uses it. But Edge gets the rope. Then Edge does a Regal stretch himself. It looks nowhere near as good. That was a very sloppy Regal stretch. But something that didn't look sloppy was a top rope spinning heel kick by Edge. It was really nice. Connected well. I don't remember him doing that often, but apparently he did. Edge goes for a spear, but spears the ref instead. Regal grabs his knucks and hits Edge, and Regal wins the IC belt. Yeah, just like that. And we get a title change. Regal is the Intercontinental Champion, so they must not be pushing Edge that much if he loses to William Regal. No offense to William Regal, but you know, if you want to push the young star, you don't have him lose his belt. Not a bad match, a bit slow paced. Regal gets out of the ring and is interviewed by Michael Cole. He says that he is the power of the punch, which is the start of that gimmick that he had for a couple of years. It was the brass knucks. The power of the punch, Michael. Next match, and we get the special guest referee for this match coming up first. soon-to-be Hall of Famer Jacqueline comes out. That's a nice surprise. Again, we can talk about her, how awesome she is. She's pretty tough. Definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, not just because of her WWE career. She had a USWA, I think, 14-time USWA champion, women's champion. I think that's correct. So yeah, this match is Jazz. It's Jazz. Sorry. Taking on Trish Stratus, who's the champion for the women's title. Remember the women's title? Not a fucking butterfly vagina belt. Trish's theme isn't the one I recognise. Did she not have that yet? Or did they get rid of it on the network? Because I don't understand why they would. But it's some awful generic theme. Good quick start. Jazz and Jackie then get into it. Because, I don't know, they're just arguing. Trish fights back. Stratus faction only gets 2. A bulldog, which they then call the Stratus faction, which was just a bulldog. And Trish wins. Okay. It was quick, but it was definitely better than anything 2012 had to offer. We now get a video of Flair entering the building with his daughter Megan and his son Reed. Orcs. No Charlotte though, so I don't know. She's apparently not part of the family yet. So yeah, this is leading up to Vince McMahon versus Ric Flair in a street fight. The basis of this feud is Flair came in and bought Shane and Stephanie's shares in the company, and now they are 50-50 business partners, Vince and Flair, and they don't like each other. Hence, a street fight. That's how you sort it out. Of course, Ric Flair is massively over in Atlanta, home of WCW. But one thing you got to know is this is going to get messy and this is going to get bloody. And I don't know how good this is going to be, but it's going to be bloody. JR points out crazily that both these men have won the WWE title and they've both won the Royal Rumble. How crazy is that to think? It's like Vince McMahon is on a par with Ric Flair. Absolutely crazy. Vince does a woo. It's hilarious because he doesn't do it as a woo. He does it as a woo. Yeah. Flair chops. Flair flops. They lead outside. Flair gets a trash can to the head and a road sign to the head. Flair bleeds. Very quick in the match. What a shocker, eh? God awful scoop slam by Vince McMahon. Flair's son and daughter are sitting at ringside. Vince takes Megan's camera, who's Flair's daughter, and takes a selfie of him and Rick with it. It's brilliant. Like, it's before the invention of selfies, but he actually took it like a selfie. Like, turned it around and went, yes, look at what I've done to your dad. Yes. So yeah, good heel work by Vincent K. McMahon. Vince worked Rick's leg, and a figure 4 by Vince McMahon, and it wasn't even a bad one. It's not like Miz bad. It was better than the Miz. So good on you, Vince. Flair turns him over though to get out of the hold. Vince then grabs a lead pipe, but before he can hit it, Flair hits a low blow. Woo! Flair hits Vince with a TV monitor hard, and no surprise, Vince is now bleeding. But he did have to wait a bit for him to bleed, though. Like he hit hit him with the TV monitor, and he went behind the Spanish announce table for a good 20 seconds, just trying to come on, let me bleed. Flair's now in control. Another low blow by Rick. He grabs the lead pipe and cracks it over the head of Vince. It really sounded horrible and nasty. Figure 4, and Vince taps, and Atlanta goes cray-cray. Strange match between two old dudes is how I can sum that up. But yeah, not too bad. Again, I don't know what happens with Flair and Vince. I only began watching. I think I began watching this year, in 2002, wrestling, but I can barely remember stuff that went on. Frosted Tips Michael Cole interviews referee Nick Patrick, boo, about Regal. Before he can talk, Stephanie, with her horrible crimped hair, boo, interrupts. She talks about HHH, boo, destroying the Rumble. Stone Cold comes from behind and interrupts her. Yay! What? 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 Stephanie runs away. Michael Cole tries to ask a question about the Rumble. What? 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 So yeah, this is the height of the what? So this is going to be good, but then get boring, because we know in 2016 that the what is still fucking used. And it gets on my nerves. Now, this is when it was just introduced, and the crowd are going absolutely fucking ballistic for what? Hope that what's a good impression. So yeah, now, I'm excited now. We get a video package for Chris Jericho versus The Rock for the Undisputed Championship of the World. We get a video package, of when Y2G won both titles, beating The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night. And haven't we heard that enough times from Chris Jericho? This is cocky heel Jericho, who just loves his championships more than anything and will do anything to keep them. The Rock got in this match by beating Booker T to become number one contender. The Rock comes in to sort massive cheers, but also a few boos, which is relevant when we get later on in the year, I'm pretty sure. And The Rock is already super sweaty before he even gets in the ring. Y2J comes in with his awesome entrance where he holds both titles off and he does his pose at the top of the ramp. It was awesome. He gets in the ring and already starts talking trash to The Rock. The bell rings and we get a hot start from The Rock, but then Jericho soon gains control. And we get a cocky Jericho pin early on where he just puts a foot on and goes, "Come on, baby!" Like that. Y2J takes off the turnbuckle padding. That's a classic heel. He then goes for the Walls of Jericho, but it is denied. Then we get a rest hold, which leads to Jericho continually going, "Ask him! Ask him! Ask him!" Later on in the match, we get a superplex from The Rock. And The Rock starts to fire back. But then we get a Jericho Bulldog, which leads into the Lion Salt, which you think would lead into a cover, but it doesn't. He goes for another Lion Salt, so that's 2 Lion Salts. Then goes for the cover, but only gets a 2 count. And Jericho argues with Earl Hebner, who's such a lad. Missile dropkick is countered by The Rock into his shitty sharpshooter, which he can't do for shit. Even though I love The Rock, that's just the truth. Lance Storm and Christian, part of the Un-Americans, aren't they? I guess they aren't called the Un-Americans yet, are they? Because they wasn't mentioned, the Un-Americans, but it's a great fucking name. They come out, run in. They distract the ref as Jericho taps out to the sharpshooter. Not a good thing for your champion to be doing, but hey-ho. The Rock then clears house, but only to run into a rock bottom by Chris Jericho. 1, 2, Rock kicks out of his own finisher. Then Chris Jericho goes for the People's Elbow, but The Rock kips up when he's running the ropes and throws Jericho to the outside. Rock then undresses the normal announce table, but then Jericho fights back and undresses the Spanish announce table. And we get an awesome rock bottom from one announce table through the other from The Rock. As they started on one announce table, he threw him through the other one. He brings it back in the ring, but it's only a 2 count. The Rock then goes for another rock bottom, but it's reversed into the walls of Jericho. But the Rock gets to the ropes. Roll up by the Rock. 1, 2, no. Kicked out. The Rock then goes for his diving clothesline, but it's he misses and hits the referee. Y2J hits Rock the title belt, and Nick Patrick, out of nowhere, runs down to the ring. 1, 2, no! Rock kicks out again. And we get an awesome Rock DDT. I love his DDT. Nick Patrick refuses to count, though, when Rock covers. Screwy Patrick continues. The Rock hits a rock bottom to Nick Patrick. Awesome. And then a spinebuster to Chris Jericho. People's elbow. And he hits it. But there's no ref still to count the 3. But Jim Ross does it instead. 1, 2, 3. It's over. It's over, King. It's over. But no, it's not over. Low blow by Jericho. Then he throws Rock into the exposed turnbuckle. Then he rolls him up. Then he gets his feet on the ropes. And Earl Hebner slowly counts 1, 2, 3. Jericho retains. And he used every heel tactic in the book. Good fucking match. Now then, we get our WWF New York segment of the night. And who's there but the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, wearing a stupid fucking Texas flag t-shirt, shirt, in New York. Very clever. He looks a lot better than he did in previous years, I think, and it looks like he's getting back to full fitness and in health. He says he likes the Texas guys in the Rumble, Stone Cold, and the Undertaker. Now we get our Royal Rumble package again, just before the match. You know what? I'm hyped, to be fair. Just got to remember that they showed in the video package that Triple H just returned before this match, and this will be his first match back. So yep, Howard Finkel explains the rules, and Jerry Lawler gives him shit for it. And then we get into our first entrant, who is Big Quiche. Rikishi is the number 1 entrant. And number 2 is Goldust. And this is his return after leaving for a while from the Attitude Era, if I remember correctly. He has sort of a Kazuchika Okada entrance here. There's like gold flakes falling from the ceiling. That's what I imagine Okada having for his entrance. I think he has done. I'll give you the highlights every so often as a person comes in or someone gets eliminated. Number 3 is the soon-to-be Hall of Famer, the Big Boss Man. Where's your daddy, Big Show? Where's your daddy? Yeah, he comes in. And then number 4 is Jibble, Bradshaw of the APA Maggle, is in with his long hair and his moustache and beard. We get a stink-faced Boss Man, and then Rikishi eliminates the Boss Man. Number 5 is, can I be serious here for a moment? Lance Storm. He's very exciting. Number 6 is Al Snow. What does everybody want? What does everybody need? Oh, we get an awesome clothesline from hell to Lance Storm. And we get We Want Head chants. And then Jerry fucking Lawler says the most disgusting thing of the night, where he says, I'd be saying we want head, but not at Al Snow. You disgust me, you old man. Number 7 is Billy Gunn of Billy and Chuck. Remember them? We'll be getting into them probably a lot later in the series. Al Snow eliminates Lance Storm. Then Billy eliminates Bradshaw, and Bradshaw is pissed. And number 8 is Dead Man Walking. it's Big Boy Taker on his big boy bike with his big boy hat on. Big Evil comes in and cleans house. He eliminates Goldust and Al Snow and Rikishi and Billy. And now he's all by himself. And number 9 is Matt Hardy. He comes out and this is making his return after he was injured by Taker, as was Lita, and Lita comes out with him too. And Lita jumps in the ring, which is illegal. Well, not illegal, but not a very nice thing to do, seeing as you're not in the match. Lita low blows Taker and they beat him up. These are supposed to be the faces people. Lita then leaves the ring, and number 10 is Jeff Hardy. Yeah, luck of the draw, eh? He was also injured because they're all after revenge. Swanton Bomb by Jeff, but then Taker eliminates Jeff pretty much straight after, and a last ride to Matt, which was nasty, and he's gone as well. Number 11 is Tough Enough's Maven, and we know what happens here. I just realised that this was the Rumble that happened in. Then Lita then comes in the ring and gets in Taker's face and is thrown off the apron. Matt and Jeff, who are the faces, I remind you, then re-enter the Rumble and attack Taker, who is the heel. Let me remind you. They are dealt with. But Maven drop kicks the Undertaker over the top rope and eliminates him, and the place goes crazy. Taker then beats him up a lot, and one of the worst chair shots I've ever seen happens right here when Taker absolutely smashes Maven in the face, who didn't get his hands up. Please, for the love of God, if you're gonna do chair shots to the head, put your fucking hands up. He just got smashed in the head. Fucking kid, Jesus Christ. Number 12 is then poor Scottie Too Hottie, who dances out to the ring and gets destroyed by The Undertaker as well, who's in a pissed off mood. Taker then continues to beat up Maven, up the stairs into the back, up into the stage. No, not stage. Into the stand. Sorry. Number 13 is Christian. Now you're on your own. Down, 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 down. That was his theme. It was an awesome theme. So yeah, he's by himself now. And Scottie Too Hottie finally wakes up and gets in the ring. Number 14, it's me, it's DDP. Good on you, DDP, with your yoga and stuff. We get a diamond cutter to Christian, and then we get a worm. I missed that move so much. I did make the noises along with a woo, 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 boom. Awesome move. But then straight away DDP eliminates Scottie. Number 15 is Chuck from Billy and Chuck. And we're halfway now, and we've only had one really big name. And that was Undertaker. Number 16, and the place goes absolutely bonkers for soon-to-be Hall of Famer, The Godfather. And he returns with not 4, not 8, but 12 hoes. And takes about 10 minutes getting into the ring. Good for him. Meanwhile, DDP has been eliminated while the Godfather makes his entrance. Albert is number 17, but comes out to Scottie Too Hottie's music. Were they a team at this point, or was that just a mistake? I'm not sure, because they didn't really mention it. But it doesn't really matter, because Albert is gone almost straight after. Then Godfather is limited to a chorus of boos. Number 18 is Perry Saturn. Remember him. So it means we've still got a lot of big names left with only 12 people left to go. So yeah, and then number 19, speaking of big names, Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold! That's correct. Stone Cold Stephen Austin is here. By Christian, by Chuck, by Perry Saturn, all of them gone, and Austin is by himself. He says, he looks at a metaphorical watch on his wrist and goes, I got some time left. Brings Christian back in the ring, gives him a stunner. Does the same to Chuck, and does the same to Saturn. Stunners them and then throws them out again. And number 20 is Val Venus. Hello, ladies. Who's also returning after formerly of the RTC. That's right, Godfather and Val Venus used to be in the RTC, but that disbanded. So then they go back to their original gimmicks. So technically it's a return. Number 21 is Test. This is a test. This is a test. Austin eliminates Val and Test pretty easily. Then number 22, time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game. And how you play it, it's all about the game. And how you play it, it's all about the game. And how you play it, it's all about the game. And how you play it. Sorry, that was my Motorhead impersonation of when they performed at WrestleMania 17 when Lemmy didn't know the words to his own song. Rest in peace. So yeah, business is about to pick up, wouldn't you say? And you can tell how big this is because they stare down for ages and the crowd is eating it up. And then we get a brawl. And number 23, stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. Poor little hurricane. He goes flying, but not actually flying because he can't, even though he's a superhero. And the brawl continues. Number 24 is Farouk. And he's gone, and then the brawl restarts. Number 25 is Mr. Perfect with a return. Nice. What a lad. And he doesn't get buried straight away like the previous two. And it turns into like a three-way brawl. Number 26 is Kurt Angle, who still has a bit of hair left, even though it's dwindling, and we get a massive "You Suck" chant. Number 27, well, it's Big Sexy Paul White. And number 28 is Big Boy Kane with his big boy muscles, and he eliminates the Big Show single-handedly with a scoop slam over the top rope. Fucking awesome, Kane, lad. But then Angle almost eliminates him straight away. And number 29 is one of my boys, Rob Van Dam. And he gets a massive pop. And he gets a frog splash in and a rolling thunder to Austin. But then he gets a pedigree to RVD. He gets a pedigree from Triple H. And he's out. Well, not out, but like knocked out on the ring. Number 30 is Can You Dig It, Sucker? Is Booker T. And he just eliminates RVD straight away. And then does a spinneroonie, but then Austin eliminates Booker straight away. And now we have our final four. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Mr. Perfect, and Triple H. Angle slam to Triple H. Triple Germans to Austin. Angle eliminates Steve Austin. Massive. With help from Mr. Perfect. And Austin had enough. He gets... he takes Perfect and Angle to the outside, but is thrown into the steps by them. Austin then comes back in with a steel chair and takes out Perfect, Angle and Triple H. He always has to get his heat back. That's one thing I don't like about Austin. He always has to have the last laugh, even if he loses. So we've got 3 left now. And we get a perfect plex to Angle, which is greeted with a huge pop. But HHH eliminates him before he can do any other damage. So we're down to Angle and Triple H. Angle thinks he's eliminated Triple H, but his feet didn't hit the floor. Triple H wins the Rumble in his first match in around 9 months. Good lad. And 14 years later, he would do it again. So yeah, that was a good Rumble, and that was Royal Rumble 2002 in its entirety. What did I think? I thought it was a pretty good. It was a 2-match card with the WWE Undisputed Championship and the Royal Rumble match. The other matches were a bit short, although there was no really awful match. The worst match was probably the women's match because of how short it was, but that doesn't really do it any justice there. But what about for match of the night and MVP? Well, match of the night, I'm going with Rock versus Jericho. I thought it was a great match, and Jericho, heel champion, I like using all the heel tactics in the book. And MVP, I'm going to give to Triple H, wins the Rumble, first match back from injury, and he didn't miss a beat, really. So yeah, good on him, lad. And that's it. So if you enjoyed this return to pay-per-view reviews, why don't you go ahead and leave a like on the video and maybe subscribe if you haven't already, because come on, I'm such a nice guy, why wouldn't you? And yeah, also this will be posted on the Brendan Place forums most likely, so if you see it there, why don't you give it a whole nice bit of positive rep, why don't you? And if you have any comments on this new year or of 2002, of this pay-per-view in particular, or anything else at all on current wrestling or anything, or just want to ask me about what's going to happen in the future or whatever, just leave a comment on the video or on the Brendan Place forums, and make sure to sign up if you haven't already on the Brendan Place forums at brendanplace.com/forums. And yeah, I think the next one is No Way Out, and it'll be exciting to see what happens, because I've heard there's a virus going around WWE. Make sure to check it out when I review that No Way Out 2002, coming your way soon. But until then, I will see you soon.